Okay, so I needed to adjust a couple things since last time. By and large, the party is more or less the same. Equipment-wise, they are exactly the same, I believe. But, yeah, I gave him a couple more skills. Finally, a rampart on pants here. So, to explain what happened. Basically, when I was doing the other run, the first time through this whole thing, I mean, it was basically the same save file. So I had gone on vacation for a couple weeks. Had gone through pretty much like up to chapter 4 with this save file. I just kind of test out the new patch and that kind of thing. And yeah, had more or less similar builds for everybody going on. So, with Pants here, he had Rampart Order the whole time, so I keep looking at that and thinking, yeah, no, he's definitely got it, and no, he didn't. Alright. So if you've got more mobile units, they're over here, otherwise this one's far easier. Now, how do we want to do this? We do want the fencers in this one. Not so much on the TKs, not so much on biceps. 3 healers sounds like a good idea. Actually, let's have Crushinator in the... yeah, let's have Crushinator in this one. Actually, 3 casters are going to get chewed up here. Let's have... Spencer and Voltaire, I think. Even though... does it really make sense? Now, let's go to archers. There we are. Something like that. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, let's do that. Gonna try to have most of them stay close to the wall. Gonna have the fencers and a dragoon go around the left side. Then just have the archers take opportunities where they see them. You're wondering about that guy's dialogue? In a nutshell, it's, oh no, there are peoples at my castle. That's a downer, and it is. It is not a good time for him. Yeah, funny thing, in the SNES version, they will gladly camp way the hell up there the entire time. Oh, sorry, didn't reach my button in time. Offs are a literal pain in the neck. Oh yeah, so I went for shields and stuff on the casters for that reason right there. I really like them being all tanky-like, because they're still all squishy, but they do a better job of actually taking care of themselves. Now let's have you go here. Those two will provide support eventually. Yeah, let's go ahead and climb up to the top of the castle and deal with him. Good plan, Canopus. Good plan. I just found that line of dialogue really funny. Like, oh, I'm worried about those things that are gonna shoot if I go in the air. I'm gonna go in the air to go deal with them. Like, did you really think that through? Because they're way down that way in most cases. So, to answer that question, no, he did not think that through. Because he's too busy thinking about hitting stuff and having really high dexterity. Kind of wondering where all his dexterity went with this mod. Guess they decided to clip his nails or something. I don't see how nails would ever help with dexterity. That makes no sense. Why not make sense? Maybe making sense is dumb. Let's go ahead and go with that. Making sense is for dumbs. Alright, yeah, this feels so merciful after the last little batch of X Division stuff. So if you're wondering what the deal is with all that, again, I'm assuming for no overlap between the two groups there. If you ever played like the old XComs or whatever else, there was an attempt to make not necessarily a remake, but kind of like a reimagining of those by a game called Xenonauts. I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. Might have been a little bit longer now, actually, because it seems like so much stuff has been around for so much longer than I actually remember it being. But oh well. Alright. Good. You've let yourself be reached by the archers. We don't even have siege bows yet. Good job on that decision there, buddy. Just bring your squishy self on up front. Yeah, it's you know, at least he can survive stuff in this one. It was absolutely hilarious in vanilla. I hoped he'd like go and friggin' boast and everything else. Then you just run up to the very front and take one arrow and die. It's like, you okay? At least now it takes 3, so it's something. Yeah, the defenses on this place kind of suck, which is, I guess, sensible considering Hector kind of basically mentions that he abandoned it last time. Presumably he'd be the one defending this wall. Oh man, his group on this wall would be absolutely devastating. I actually would like to see like a random chance. Oh, well, if he didn't have wings, that'd be a problem. But I'd like to see like a random, slight randomization of the plot line or whatever else. In which case, there's an opportunity that, you know, Hector decides not to go and bail. So it's like this guy and his crappy team over in the frozen wastes, and then you have Hector suddenly showing up like, oh, yeah, I'm here with all my dragons and crap in this really tight area. How would you like to deal with this? And then, you know, your answer would probably be something like, no, I'd rather not deal with this. This is really unpleasant, actually. Anyway, to get back to the original point I was making there. So, yeah, Xenonauts X Division, all that sort of thing. So yeah, they tried to kind of do like a spiritual remaking of those originals, but with a bunch of little different stuff. Which, I mean, it was good. It was good in its own right. It's like one of those things where it's good, but I kind of prefer a few of the details of the originals. But the reason why is kind of odd. So, when they remade it, again, not a remake, but whatever. So when they made Xeno there, they made it to where your guys were very, 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 very limited in terms of how many actions they could possibly take in a turn. So, just like the originals, they were basically capped at a certain, like, every action had a certain percentage of whatever points you had, and then the faster you were, the more points you had left over for movement and that sort of thing. And, you know, and or management of items and that sort of thing. Well, the strange thing that ended up happening is they ended up cutting a lot of the possible actions you could take about in half. So, for example, take like UFO Defense or Terror from the Deep or whatever else, you know, the old originals. You could give somebody a rifle, right? They would run it. Like, let's say they were trying to clear a scout or something like that. So they would run in. They would get a chance to take 2 bursts and run back out. So in Xeno, for example, it's changed to where they end up walking in. They can take maybe a burst, maybe just a single snapshot, and run off. Like, they can't actually do that much. So, like, even then, like, best case scenario, they're popping in, they're popping off a single unaimed shot, and then running back outside. The problem with that, however, is that it ended up scaling up more and more and more as they got promoted. They just kept going and going and going for quite a while. But unfortunately, the guys on the other side had the same thing. So you kind of ran into the newer XCOM problem of, you know, you lost one of your people that have been around since the beginning, and your odds of actually making it to the end are very severely diminished because suddenly everybody else can't move as fast. And in some cases, you needed to be able to move fast. So that was... It got a little frustrating is the thing. Like, it's one of those things where it was frustrating because it wasn't something like, well, you know, legitimately got outsmarted. In some cases, you just have situations where you're Well, hang on, where the hell is this guy? Oh, he's hiding me back there. Okay, good choice. So yeah, you'd have cases where, like, let's say you have 4 guys stacked up on a door, right? And all of them have weapons that make them better at reacting. They're all sitting there with full points. Basically, the more points you have, the more likely you are to react. So they're all sitting there, and everything seems like it should be fine. Meanwhile, a guy from the other side opens the door, runs out of the door, straight into everyone's line of sight, basically pops off shots on 3 of them, insta-kills 3 of them, and then throws a grenade at the last guy and runs away. And it's like, okay, got friggin' crazy Matrix aliens going on, it's kind of frustrating. So, it had its moments where it just kind of felt cheap, I think. At the same time, if you ended up saving all of those guys and getting them, all the way up to the top of their promotions and whatever else, they were completely untouchable. I mean, maybe not completely untouchable, but pretty well close to it. Like, they were likely to survive just about anything. So, yeah, so XDiv there changed it a little bit to the point where everybody was able to do more stuff, and, it ended up actually ramping up pretty significantly more the better they got. But at the same time, even though everyone's getting more points and more actions and everything else, everything is way more likely to actually get your units killed off there. So I don't know, I thought it suited the... I thought it made more sense given the originals. So it's been pretty fun so far. Basically had a guy that made a bet that I wouldn't be able to beat the thing on the easiest difficulty. So that's a vote of confidence right there. Actually, no, 2 people made bets that I'd completely eat it. So I mean, so far so okay, actually. Like, despite pretty much absurd casualties, I haven't actually had a full loss yet, so that's been nice. I mean, I don't know if it'll make the later parts impossible, but so far so okay, I think. Point being, it would be nice... What the hell was I getting at here? It would be nice if what? It's completely brain farted. Oh yeah, it would be nice if we didn't end up losing anybody over the course of this castle here. So, we'll see how that goes. It's turning into a little bit more of a slog than I would have expected. So far we're making it. Definitely making it across to their sides here. Again, one of those just fantastic moments showing off the mod here, though. Because, like, the original, it would be long over by this point. Whereas right now, we actually have potentially up to 3 separate fights going on. So we've got basically this archer fight back here. Now we've got the casters and the dragoon over here, trying to do their sort of thing. They're trying to clear a flank, but the odds of them getting any healing support are pretty limited. Good. Alright, so that's 1 less archer. Come to think of it, Canopus' thing about dealing with the archers might actually make sense now. Because we are actually dealing with the archers. Let's do Tremendous. Probably should pop off an Eagle Eye at some point. Figure, with the way their points go, Eagle Eye makes more sense if you aren't actively attacking anyone. Considering they keep getting attacked by archers, it might be something useful. It's arguable I probably should have used Tabula Rasa to get my knight back up to speed here, but I want these guys patched up. Right. Save problem solved anyway. Caster's still in this. Not doing amazingly, but is doing adequate. And I think now's the time to pop an Eagle Eye. Nice thing about Eagle Eye is it's... Actually, probably should have used Tremendous there. Worked out anyway, but oh well. Nice thing about Eagle Eye is that it actually... it ends up functioning really well if you need to reposition them and end up seeing some squishies or whatever else that are getting shot at. It's potentially very useful for keeping them going. I have many, many cases of just counters on counters on counters. It's nice to have so many options. Like, really, those are the mods that are always the best. Like, the ones that show up and they're like, well, here's like 50 different ways to deal with a single problem. Used to have only one solution before. Still got the Lancers pushing in. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here because I was hoping to do both castle fights in one part. Let's help her out. Actually, might end up having to be 2 parts at this rate. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Trap that TK up there. And probably want to start dealing with these guys. You guys have items, don't you? No. Alright, I think we're gonna have to count on pushing through before the Dragoon goes down. Patch him up. He won't be able to take another hit from a caster. That lag, though. It's one of the reasons I'm speeding it up. Okay. Let's try this again. Here, heal everyone. This time you're flying up here, and hopefully you'll be able to go smack that guy. Healer's a pain in the neck. Make sure to get rid of him somehow. Unfortunately, I'm not even sure we're going to be able to evacuate Crushinator. So, at this rate, unless we... Oh wait, probably shouldn't have done that. Unless we break through pretty quick here, which might end up being the first casualty of this run. If you're wondering why I don't shield bash him, I actually can't right now. Heal 2. This Berserker here is tough to break through. Ah. Okay, that is not one of the ones I would have expected to go down. don't have evacuate, do you? No. We might have picked up evacuate last time, but I don't have access to it. We're exactly blocked. Actually, wait a sec. Do we have enough range, maybe? No, it's only 2. Yeah, it's a very realistic possibility. We are about to lose Crushinator. So if you're wondering what the deal is with that, technically speaking, they do have 3 lives, but if that's part of the challenge of this run, if they end up losing a single life, they are considered dead. Right, that guy. Yeah, no, we're exactly blocked. That's kind of irritating. Actually, let's have Furio do some business here. He's gonna take her out, and then he's gonna go bring the other fencer back, who's gonna then go get some points and bring him back. Okay. That's an idea. I will note some of them, though, if they get killed off, like for example, if Canopus gets killed off, if the White Knights get killed off, anyone that's actually needed for Coda, I'm basically just not going to use them for the rest of the run, instead of going and doing anything else. Okay, what can you do? Tabula Rasa and heal, I think. There's a very slim chance here. Okay. No parry. Will this work from this far away? No, but the Knight might be able to. He's just fast enough to be able to pull it off like a second before her death. Okay, that would have really sucked if she died here, because she's definitely necessary for the next fight. Okay, they're trying to pass out stuns. Good. Yeah, Furio is definitely the strongest fighter of those 3 by far. Merwin might be the better caster. Lavitz might be an absolute beast against, well, beasts. He is by far the best fighter. Healer's such a dick. Fortunately, there's still not even much I can do to deal with him. Okay, yeah, deal with that guy. That's the nice thing about Warlocks here. So yeah, they don't do as much damage, but they're far more survivable. And they have a tendency to still do pretty okay damage. So I'm pretty sure the other casters would easily be dead by now. What's this look like? 131. I should have tabulated first. Alright. You get in range of your healer then. Alright, what are your odds of a shot here? Pretty good. And we're breaking through slowly but surely. I was actually half expecting that guy to get crit off the wall there. I mean, fingers crossed. We're doing alright. I think in the next round what I'm going to do is run Sansa here forward, give everybody the... Actually, is there any point in giving everyone sidestep? Pretty sure there's exactly no point now. Alright, yeah, you can't go anywhere. You're gonna need to get pecked down here. Which, again, seems like a weird choice, just in case he ends up running behind. The thing is, I want him to be trapped as much as possible, because he's going around dropping phalanxes everywhere, and it's preventing movement, and it's a pain in the neck. So there's that. Actually, if the archers have kill moves, that might be something to look forward to. Might have to ditch that plan with the with raising the dead here in favor of silencing the healer, though. He might be just in range. Nope, he's out of range. That would have been really nice, though. Okay. An alternative is killing off her. Basically means he can't bring anyone back, but at least it'll be a lot less damage coming in. Alright. Fantastic. Now, one thing I'm definitely considering for the future is a no cleric run. I kind of wonder how that'll go. Because I'd imagine it would be astoundingly difficult. Okay, we're within range. Got options, got Canopus to finish this off. So there we go. We just need Canopus to get his turn, and we basically checkmated this thing. And under these circumstances, it makes a lot of sense that they would actually bail after this guy went down. Because unlike base game, he didn't just come up, take a couple arrows. Well, he did run. He did come up, take a couple arrows, and then back off. But he didn't just come, you know, get shot in the foot, keel over, die, and then everybody gave up. So, it's good. It was an actual fight. Yay! Alright, well, so much for doing both parts, because that's going to have to be that. But, yeah, I will see you in the next bit after this. Why do you have to leave? Well, because there's about to be a boss fight in here. I'm not really sure where you're going to go, considering there's really no doors here. So I can know about my vengeance, though. And this guy shows up, and like, no, you gotta go. We need your research. If you don't get out of here with the research, then you won't be able to stop the UFOs later with our zombies. Kind of want that crossover. Just like Tactics Ogre meets XCOM. let's save this here, and yeah. Have a good one.